Everybody, welcome to Really Unplugged. I'm your favorite girl, V, and today I'm with Ashley and a special guest, Shawanda. Hey. So today's episode is going to be about basically gun violence in our community. Shawanda is a parent that lost both of her kids to gun violence. I know it's a tough conversation and a bad situation, but do you want to kind of give us an idea of what was going on with the first incident with your first son?
Basically, it was just a normal weekend. Started out normal. We all ended up at a yard party together that was celebrating a birthday of of a guy who had passed. I left the party. It was around 12. I spoke to him, told him, y'all, I'm going home, whatever. I got home. It was about 2:30. I called Raekwon and asked where they were at. He was like, we in the yard. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That was about 2:59, 3 o'clock. So my son LJ came into the house. Raekwon never came in. Like, he never came in the house. LJ came, he was eating his food. They had Waffle House. He was eating his food. So I took Raekwon eat his food outside. So I heard when Raekwon called crank up and left. And I was like, where the hell Raekwon going to this time in the morning? And LJ was like, Mom, who knows? Like that. I was like, oh, okay. And usually when my kids leave in that time in the morning and I know it, I give them a call. Where y'all going? Who y'all with?
Right.
What y'all about to do? That night, I did not call him. I did not call him that night. I still beat myself up about it, saying, why didn't you call, Shawanda? You know you usually call your kids. Why didn't you call? And like I said, I beat myself up every day over that. Like, you didn't do what you normally do. Okay, so about 3:23, 3:30, I started calling his phone. Wanted to know where he was at. He wouldn't answer. My mama called him. I'm calling him. I called his dad, and I was like, you talked to Raekwon lately? He was like, no, I talked to Raekwon earlier. I called his girlfriend. She was like, no, I see he called me about 2:30, but I was asleep, and I didn't answer the phone. I was like, okay. So then I called my cousin that I know he hang with. And he was like, no, I've been left Raekwon at the party or whatever. So kept calling. I'm texting, I'm calling, I'm texting. Nothing. So I got up. I had to take my mama to work that day. I got up. I took her to work. I came back to Santee. I rode through Santee and I went to every hotel that was in Santee to see if his car was at a hotel.
Right.
Because I was like, maybe he had a hotel and whatever. I went to every hotel. Did not see his car. The last hotel I went to, I looked left, and something was like, go left, Shawanda. Turn left. And then I looked right, and I was like, no, maybe I should go home and wait for him. I looked back to the left, but I ended up going home. If I would have turned and went to the left, I would have ended up seeing my baby.
What?
Bro. Because during that time,
That was going on.
that what was going on.
Right.
Like, I would have ended up seeing his car. I would have ended up seeing him, I guess, on the ground or whatever. But something was kept telling me to go left, but instead, I was like, no, I'm going to go home. I went home, I laid in the bed, and I was continually texting. Me, his girlfriend was texting and talking. So I think it was around 10 o'clock. There was a knock on the door. I looked. I said, who the hell is Orangeburg County Sheriff at my house?
Right.
Like that, right? So they was on at the front, told them to come to the back. They came walking to the back. I was like, I'm not about to open no door. I'm not opening no door. They knocking on the door. They went back to the front and knocked on the door.
Right.
I still didn't answer. I looked at everything that they did. They came back to the back door. So I got a call on my phone. I don't even remember how she started the conversation, but she was like, I'm looking for Shawanda. I was like, this is she? She was like, all I remember was Sheriff Department. I don't remember her saying her name or anything. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of town. Like that, because I didn't want to talk to him.
Right.
And they was like, well, can we come to where you at? I was like, nope. No. I was like, I'll come see y'all when I get back in town. And she was like, no, we really need to talk to you now. I was like, what? I was like, just go ahead and tell me. She was like, no. Then I was like, is this about my son? I said, because I've been calling him since 3 o'clock and I have not gotten him. And she was like, what's your son's name? I said, Raquan Rollins. And she paused. She didn't say nothing. And then she was like, yes, your son was in an accident. I was like, well, is he okay? Is he all right?
Oh,
What hospital
man.
he at?
Right.
She was like, that. And she didn't say anything. I said, well, you called to tell me he all right? Is he all right? And she just paused and she didn't say anything. So I was like, so you called to tell me my son dead?
Oh.
And that was it.
Well, I feel like you shouldn't beat yourself up about the phone call because I just think that I don't think you should put that pressure on yourself, that stress. I know it's easy for me to say versus you
Right.
doing. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I knew Raekwon personally too. So at the end of the day, I can definitely understand how you feel or whatever. But with your baby son, do you feel like the shooting was related?
I always say if you saw one, both of them will get solved. That's just how I feel.
They not solved.
Well, not as far as Saul, but I was like, if you get the main characters for one, then that other one within Orangeburg County will be able to solve both of them. Because I don't feel like they're related, but I feel like they're related.
There's some type of involvement with both.
If you understand what I'm saying, like, okay,
You don't think the same person per se did it, but
But-
maybe
they interact with each other.
got you.
Like they know each other.
So do you feel like it was someone your son knew? Or because your oldest son got shot and killed first, and then your younger son got shot and killed?
Yep, it was exactly 8 months apart.
What?
Yeah, my oldest son, it was August 27th, 2023, and then my baby was April 27th, 2024.
Wow.
So exactly 8 months apart.
And those your only two kids?
My only two.
Man, that's tough.
So, I don't know. I know, the boys lost their friend first, like January of 2023.
Right.
That was LG shadow. That was his shadow. You saw one, you saw the other.
Right.
So it was like, I know LG was down from that. And then to lose your brother, which LG and Raquan used to fight each other like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you would think it wasn't brothers, but nobody could say anything to the other one. Cause like,
I got you.
like, who you talking to? That's my brother. You not
Right.
talk to him like
Right.
that. But after Raquan, I knew that LG wasn't happy.
Oh.
He put on the front like he was happy. He was having fun, but I know that he wasn't happy.
Probably not so much of not being happy. It's just that when you grieve, everybody grieve differently.
Yeah.
And being the fact that was his brother, like every time I used to see Raekwon, I seen LJ. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess like, cause even like my grandparents died, like it was a different feeling when my granddaddy died versus my grandma because we didn't expect her, but we knew he was gonna pass, right?
Uh-huh.
So you people deal with things differently.
Differently.
And he probably had to do that to be strong for you too.
But I mean, it's okay, right?
It's okay if you do cry.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't really cried because I always was like, when somebody died, that's just the end of their story.
right.
Like their story ended. They came, they did what they were supposed to do, and it was their time to go back. I said, but I'm human though.
Yeah.
I'm also human, so I can get to cry, grieve, or whatever. But I do know that I have not grieved yet. I put it to the side, which I do. Like I try to stay busy till I think about it. But you do get it does come to you. It do come to you. But it's like you want to push it out your mind. Go and do this, go and do this. So it's not like I think about it like
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So with LJ, what was the situation with his?
well, before we go to LJ, with Raekwon, I kept seeing a vision. Like it's gonna be a lot of people at my house. It's about to be a lot of people at my house. I kept seeing it.
Before Raekwon?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I could be waiting.
So the way you talk is like God like gave you some type of sign, like basically letting you know what was going on.
Yeah, but at the time,
You wasn't paying
I
attention.
wasn't paying it no attention. Like, it's just like, I just kept seeing it. Like, it was just like, it was a lot of people at the house. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
Was you dreaming? Did it like you can't? It came to you in a dream, or did it?
I was sleeping. I could be awake. I could have been at work. I could have been driving. And
And
I
it was just
saw
heavy
it.
on your mind.
So I was like, wow. And then it ended up, a lot of people
Was
at
at
my
your
house.
house,
right.
right?
Then with LG, that whole week I could not sleep. I would lay in the bed. I would look up at the ceiling all night. I would not sleep. So that Thursday, I stayed up all night. I ended up staying up all night. I think I fell asleep. It was 6 o'clock. I had to be up at 6:30 to get ready for work.
Goodness.
So I know Lake Mary didn't have, well, I guess Orangeburg didn't have school that Friday. And I remember I walked in LJ's room and he was about to get on the game. He was on the game. It was him and two of the guys, and one of the little boys was cussing so bad. I was like, LJ, who is that cussing like that? I was like, good God. He said the name. I was like, oh no, he cussing like a man. So I remember he was standing in front of his dresser and I gave him a side hug. I said, all right, baby, I love you. Like that. He was like, I love you too, Mom. So I went on in the room, sat on the side of the bed because I couldn't go to sleep. Fall asleep. It was about 6 o'clock. 6:30, got up, went to work. On my way home from work, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to sleep tonight because I'm good and tired. I'm going to sleep tonight. So that's when I got the text about the party being over there. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna wash up, eat, and then I'm gonna come back over here. But after I did all that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going over there. I'm going to sleep. I got in the bed and I fell asleep.
You was tired.
No tossing, no turning, no nothing. As soon as my head hit the pillow, I fell asleep. Yeah, my mom went, I think it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, somewhere up in there. My mama, she was like, Shawana. She called me, she was like, Shawana, you need to get up and call LJ because we hear gunshots. I jump up. I called my baby 13 times.
Oh my God.
13 times. His phone did not answer. So I got up. I ended up going in the bathroom. Then the phone rang. I was like, okay, this is LJ telling me he okay. It wasn't. It was Tukey telling me, get over here down, Shawanda. I've already dialed 911.
Oh.
I need you to come down. So I heard people in the background saying, just tell her.
Oh
I hung
Lord.
up the phone. I fell on the floor. I got up. I did slip on some shoes. I was able to slip on some shoes. I ain't put on nothing else. Jumped out the bed, got my shoes on, and went over there. I got over there, saw the person laying on the ground. I was like, I remember going over there, and I remember somebody grabbing me. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, I gotta get to my baby. That's my baby. I gotta get to my baby. And then I remember the police officer coming in front of me. He was like, no, you can't go over there. You can't go. I said, I got to get to my baby.
Yeah, you right. Locking me up.
My baby need me. I need to get to him.
Right.
And he grabbed me, and I know he held me in a bear hug, and I hit him like, let me go.
Exactly.
Let me get to my baby. And I was like, is he okay? And the officer just looked at me, and he put his hand down, and I just fell out.
Dang.
Because you knew when they
you knew
give you
that meant.
signs. I get what you're saying.
So when I first got over there, and they told me, I was like, I'm being poked, ain't it?
Oh boy.
That's how I felt. When I got the phone call, I was like, ain't no way.
I was like, I'm being poked, right? Like, where the people at?
Right.
Because ain't no way I'm going
Ain't
through this
even
8
been
months,
a
8
year.
months later, 8 months
Yes.
later. Like,
But he was still in high school because you
no, he
said.
had just graduated.
Oh, okay.
He had graduated
Okay.
the year before. He graduated 2023.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was like, I knew I'm being punked. Like, this
Gee,
ain't happening to me. Like, no, ain't no way.
girl.
But it was true.
I pray for you every day because that's something like no parent should ever have to go through. But I do want to know, like, do you feel like the reason why neither murder been solved because of the community? Because
Ain't nobody. People got this thing about no snitching. But the thing about it is, you got to realize what no snitching is. Like, because I see you do something and I go tell, that's not snitching. When me and you do something together and I get caught, but you don't, and then I go tell on you,
Oh, I
that's
see what you're saying.
snitching.
Yeah.
I never
Like,
thought
that's
about
the
it.
snitching part.
Respect though.
Right.
Right.
Like, okay, I got caught. You didn't.
Right.
So when they asked me who, I did it alone. I ain't had nobody with me.
Right. I got you.
But that, so people get it kind of mixed up. Like, no, I ain't want to snitch. I ain't want to snitch. But you and the person did it together.
Right.
Right.
Then if the answer is no, how y'all snitching? How you snitching?
Got you.
Yeah, because you know, I guess everybody trying to be that person
Yeah,
in the
like,
streets.
like you want to be, even to the person who did the murder, you want to be so gangster, you want to be so hard. But if you like that, stand up and take your punishment.
So do you feel like if Orangeburg County was to solve the murders of your children, then you would be able to grieve if you knew who did it?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so. I mean, especially my oldest. There is nothing. There is nothing. And it's like somebody knows something. Like how you just not gonna say nobody knows nothing. Cause I guarantee you, whoever did the shooting wasn't alone.
Yeah.
Cause when you count the bullets in his car, it was 14
No.
bullets in Raekwon's car. But he was hit only one time.
Really?
One.
Jeez.
He was hit once.
I'm thinking that they just like shot him up, period.
Boy.
He was hit once. And he ended up, I guess, because he was driving, he hit the embankment on the side of the road, and the car ended up flipping several times. And he was thrown from the car.
So that's what actually killed him, the
No,
throne?
they said the gunshot did
Oh,
because
okay.
he was shot in the head,
Oh, my.
and I think it came out of the neck.
Okay.
What the
Yeah,
world?
he was shot in the head, and it came out of his neck. So they was like he died instantly.
Another thing, do you think like so this whole thing happened, and I feel like now me personally, and I'm just saying how I feel with the parents, right? Because I feel like everybody in our community, everybody know each other.
Yes.
Even if we don't know their name, but we got an idea who that person is, right? Do you feel like the parents kind of like uphold some of the situation that was going on with the kids and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
I do, because you have a lot of parents out here, no matter what their kids do, their kids is always right. I'm gonna stand behind mine, even if they're right or wrong. I was the type of person, look, Raekwon, LG, if y'all right, I'm gonna stand behind y'all 1,010%. If you wrong, I'm not gonna embarrass you in public. But when we get home, I'm gonna let you know you was wrong. You know that wasn't right. And when you do, you need to go and apologize because it wasn't right.
Right.
And there's a lot of parents that say, "Oh, I'm standing behind my baby, whether they right, whether they wrong, whether they this, that, whether they that. If they do this, if they do that, like that's not. What do you get out of that? All of that not making them take accountability.
Right. For nothing.
Everybody got to be able to take accountability of what they do wrong. Because when they grow up, all they're going to be is adults who don't take accountability.
Yeah. But I do think that a lot of parents do not, you know, tell their kids like when they're right or wrong. Like I do think they uphold a lot of stuff, which is why a lot of stuff probably was happening and is happening. You know, because if you like tell your child, even though I don't know, I don't know if I'm gonna send my child to jail, but I'm gonna tell him, be like, look, you gotta go to that jailhouse because. Why would you do that to somebody? You know,
Right.
that's
I told
me.
my kids, I was like, look, if it's me, are y'all going to jail? Guess who going to jail?
Right.
Y'all. I'm not gonna
Just
jail.
so let me know because I'm not gonna. I couldn't even live with myself knowing that I'm
child
sitting
did
here.
something
Yeah,
wrong.
and I feel like the people in the community. No, y'all. I feel like the cops should be private if they do come and tell. You shouldn't tell who said it. But I feel like the problem is the people in our community is not speaking up and saying, "Hey, well, I got an idea. This is what happened. Or this is who did it."
But the thing about it is, if it was you in my situation, if it was a mother, which I don't put that on nobody.
Oh, yeah.
I don't put this type of pain on nobody. But if you as a mother was in my situation, what would you do?
Yeah.
Cause like
Yeah,
when,
that's rough, boy.
they arrested the guys for LG. There was a lot of things that was being said about, oh, they didn't do it. They're gonna get out. They're gonna get out. They're gonna be out real soon. I saw it. Me being petty. I went and I laughed at everybody comment who was saying, oh, they're going to get out early. They're going to get out early. So it was this one guy who was like, what the F this fat B laughing at?
No.
Hasn't she lost both of her sons?
What?
I know he did
Yeah,
not.
I was like, oh, cool. This is what we doing. Within a day, I know who he was and where he stayed at.
Yeah, I just think that the parents like should have had like say something to their kids because that's the big part. What you about to say?
So you got a public page or something? Because how are you friends with people that you?
I wasn't friends with. It was a newspaper article.
Oh, I was about to say, hold now, because wait, how you?
I wasn't friends with them. It was a
They
newspaper
posted
article.
on a public.
And they posted on a public thing. So I just went down there.
You went and
yeah,
okay,
I thought it
okay.
was funny. Like, really? This what we doing? This what we saying?
But you know, like a lot of times when crime happened, and I don't think people realize this because you know my cousin was murdered, Shalonda back. You know what I'm
remember
saying? When crimes happen, a lot of times if they do get solved, when the people do get charged or whatever, a lot of times they don't even really go to trial because they take plea deals, and so you know, like that guy, I want to say he got released in like 20 or 30 years or something like that, and then.
Wow.
You know, so it's almost like darn if you do, darn if you don't, cause.
But I still want to know because
But
even
yeah,
if you get locked up or
you
whatever,
should want to know
because I don't want to be up in your face and you did something to my family member.
Well,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That's the thing with me. Like I feel like a lot of people hear things and they don't speak on it. And I understand people ain't the same no more. Like they gonna do what they gotta do to you if you don't prepare yourself. But if I don't do it in front of me. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, don't do it in front of me.
Don't do none of that stuff in front of me because
I'm with you on that. If it's you or
to the
me,
county.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to the county. I'm sorry.
If I go to jail, it's because I did something.
Right.
And when I go to jail, I'm gonna make sure I did something that's gonna cause me to need to be in jail. Like I'm not gonna go steal no $500 or whatever. I know you're not gonna go to jail for stealing $500, but
I get what you're saying.
I know, but my thing is when I go, I'm gonna make sure I go in for something.
For something, right?
So I just got this one question because being that they so young, like how old were they?
My oldest died when he was 22.
Okay.
And my baby was 19.
Yeah. So do you feel like, because you know we live in a very rural community and it's really not a lot of stuff for kids to do. So do you feel sometimes like if they had more activities or more things for kids to do that they probably would have like, I guess, because you know my son when we moved to Columbia he had more opportunities like to play ball and stuff like that. So he ended up going to college for ball and stuff like that. So do you feel like, or not really?
Raekwon was going to Lake Marion. Mm-hmm. And that's when they probably used to have a fight every day at Lake Marion.
Oh, okay.
Because it was Ellery, Santee, parts of Vance against Holly Hill, Utahville, and the other parts of Vance. Like they had an issue with each other. So I ended up pulling Raekwon out of Lake Marion. I think it was around 2015, 2016. Somewhere up in there and putting him in Willow Gray. Before I walked out of that school, I told the assistant principal at that time, I said, if y'all don't get this under control, it's going to get much worse. I was like, y'all see the fighting that's going on. Y'all know what's going on. But if y'all don't get this under control at the school, it's going to get much worse. And I look at that and be like, you know, I told my mom, I said, Mom, you know, I went to that school. I told them that let's get it together because it was going to get much worse. And look, I said, why it had to get much worse for me?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I understand that now.
I said, when I'm the one who pointed it out, it got much worse for me.
Yeah, that's like people don't do things if they feel like if it don't got nothing to do with me, and you know what I'm saying, and they ain't really bother them because it didn't matter to them. All they was doing is whatever the people up, tell them to do, But I can understand how you would feel about that situation though, because like I'm coming to y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah, and I remember the sheriff. I forgot what the situation was, but I remember it was an Orangeburg County sheriff officer. He came and he was like, "What can we, as the community, as parents, as the sheriff department, and as the school can do to stop all this? Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it."
Did somebody fighting in the school?
I don't know. I can't remember if it was somebody did some shooting at a house or if it was a school, something happened at the school or what. I can't remember, but I just remember the conversation where he said, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of all of this. And I was like, everybody got to come together. You got to bring the parents. You got to bring the sheriff office, the school, the county council. I say even the city council. You got to bring them together. I say when there's no togetherness, what you think gonna happen with the kids?
Right. And I really feel like the kids don't have a lot of great examples at the end of the day. Like even with the older guys, that generation, they don't tell them like, don't do that. Like I'd rather for them to tell them to just go fight each other, just don't shoot each other. You get what I'm saying?
Like,
Versus always letting them feel like it's okay to get a gun.
To pull a gun.
Right. And don't get me wrong, some people might make you take it there. I'm just saying, I don't promote gun violence, but hey, some people might make you take it there. But at the end of the day, I feel like they don't have good examples in their household and in the streets.
Pretty much.
You know, the older guys around here, I see a lot of them do the same thing they was doing since they was like 14 years old. Nothing changed. And they got the younger guys hanging with them. I'm like, you think that makes sense?
We're like, where you gonna be a role model at?
Right.
But then again, too, I know as well, like adults, when we try to talk to kids, it's like we talking at them, like you yelling at them. You know, it's like, listen to me. Whatever I say goes. It ain't nothing else. But it's the thing is, we have to listen to our kids. Like I realize we have to listen to it because sometimes kids are smart.
They very smart.
Kids are very smart and they know what goes on in the world. So we have to take a step back and we got to be like, you know what? My child made so much sense when he said that.
Yeah.
So we as parents, we got to learn. When you come at your kids, you can't cuss at them all the time. It don't take all of that. You yelling, it don't take all of that. Because once you start yelling,
some of the kids didn't be yelling. Some of the kids so bad.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I take this thing that Tyler Perry said when he was Medea. I know a lot of people say, oh, Medea this and Medea that. But she said something that made sense. And it was like, you might have two kids. You can't treat them the same
You
because
sure
they ain't the same.
can't.
Like, one, you can talk to them nicely. Can you sit down and be quiet, don't say nothing? And that child gonna sit down, be quiet, and don't say nothing.
Yeah,
But
that's
then that
true.
child on the other hand, if you gonna sit your little blood, whatever down,
Right.
but they did what you wanted them to do. You just had to go at them two different ways because
They two different people.
they two different people.
Yeah, that make all the sense in the world. I ain't never thought about that.
Like you,
I yell at all of them. I yell at all the kids.
because sometimes when
Good
you
day.
yell at one child, that child might be timid. So when you yell at them, they don't shut down.
Shut down.
Now I do agree with what you just said though. I do feel like parents do need to learn how to talk to kids and not always yell and fuss and curse or whatever, because it don't make it better. And sometimes some kids just don't understand, that way.
Yeah.
You definitely right. But hey, these kids are bad. Just saying.
Yeah.
You got to.
Hey, I work at DSS, so trust me, you ain't telling me nothing. Because sometimes you get kids and you be like, I can't deal with this child right here. No, I can't deal with this child. Like, I'm going to go home. Y'all deal with this one. And then you have some kids, like, you just want around you, like, you don't want to, like, oh, he's so nice. He's so humble. Oh, can I just take him home? Like that. But we just have to learn, because kids deal with a lot. Even before sometimes being born, they deal with a lot. So coming up, you going through all these different phases of your life and different things happening.
Yeah, I can agree. So, speaking of, this kind of sensitive though. Like, do you sit home and you got like some favorite memories of your kids? If so, what are they?
You know, Raquan couldn't keep nothing.
I'm saying,
Like, Raquan couldn't keep nothing from me. He probably wouldn't come out and tell you, but certain things that he did, you be like, yeah, look at you. Like, I forgot what graduation it was, but I remember he going out with my cousin, and it was his birthday around that time. So I went and I picked him up. They all cool. They came in the house. They walking up in the house. Raquan, he walking into the walls.
somebody was drunk.
Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? He ain't saying that. He just walking into the walls. He just walked into the walls.
No, he wasn't. That's
I was
funny.
like, Raquan, you drunk? No, mama, I ain't drunk. No, mama, I ain't drunk. I said, well, you ain't see that wall right there. And then when they were little, I used to dress them all the time. Record, he couldn't stand it. He was like, man, mama, why do you got to dress me like LG all the time? I don't want to look like you. Like, cause that's what I do.
Right.
And I remember, LG was 2, Raekwon was about 4. Raekwon running, LG was chasing him through the house. LG chasing him through the house. Something Raekwon had, and he wanted it. And Raekwon would not give it to him. LG finally got Raekwon down and jumped on Raekwon, and that was it.
Oh.
Beat
And
him up.
then one day it was around Christmas time, and I think I had fussed at Raekwon about something. And I remember I was on the floor doing something. LG came and just pushed me on over. I was like, hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute. I was like, really?
No, he didn't.
Really? I was like, oh, so you defending your brother?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's how they beat though. That's how the
was too,
kids.
I mean, he just came, he just said, I was like, oh, okay, I got you.
So you about to get beat up by the brothers. Okay. From this situation, what is some advice you feel you can give another parent that's probably going through this or see their kids going down the same road?
It's too many parents in this club that shouldn't be in this club that has lost a child to gun violence. There's too many parents. And this should not be a club that we should be part of. All I can say is don't be your kids' friends, be your child's parent. Because when you're your child's friends, they're not gonna respect you, or they're not even gonna look at you as an adult figure. They're gonna look at this my homegirl, this my homeboy. Like, so be a parent. If you see your child doing things that you don't think is appropriate, say something. Because we have too many of our young black guys being killed and going to jail. If we keep this up, this community, Ellery, Santee, Holly Hill, Vance, Utahville, what future we gonna have?
That's true.
What future are we gonna have if our black boys are being killed?
Yep.
And I'm gonna say to the guys who say they're the OGs, be OGs.
So I would say that, I be seeing a lot of them around here. And that, when I first started talking to Jason, everybody was telling me a lot of bad things about him, right? But now when I see him with the younger guys, they'll all be like, I want to be like you. I want to turn my life around. I want to do what you did. And I feel like that's a good example.
It is,
Not
yeah.
saying because he talked to me, but there's some things that the older guys that he be around, like, you gonna do that for that child? Like, what are you doing? Like, he tried to, stop them and set a good example for the kids. But, some people don't think that way. Some people will never grow up,
Nope.
you know?
Because they're too much involved with the childish things. Like, they fool up with the childishness. Like, and what is your child learning?
Yeah.
What is your child going to pass on to the next one? Like,
Nothing really.
but, to the OGs, y'all stand up. Be OGs.
I agree. I second that. For real. We need good people in the world. We do. But with that I'm sorry that you had to go through all this, and I was so scared to ask you to come.
Yeah, I know. Like, really, you forgot.
But it's sensitive, you don't want to be stepping on nobody's toes. You got to make sure what you say, how you word things, because it's a sensitive thing. Because I know, with me, I probably would be crying every day. That's just me, And I was like really close to y'all family, so I know how this stuff affect y'all.
And I know the family, everybody, my mama's sisters and brothers, and their offsprings and everything, we were all close.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah.
Raekwon wasn't only my child.
Right.
Raekwon was my cousin's child. Raekwon was my
Right.
mama's child, my aunt child, my uncle child. Like,
So it's-
our kids are everybody's kids in the family. So I'm not the only one who is going through.
Right.
My family is going through it as well. Raekwon's daughter would never see him in person.
Yeah.
Even though she know who her daddy is.
Right.
Which it melt my heart. When she showed her a picture, be like, really, who is this? Daddy.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God. It had melt my heart. But the thing about it is, y'all robbed her of having time with her father. LG stepped up to the plate. We used to call him Uncle Daddy. And then y'all took him from her.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's a crazy situation. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I probably would have been. I was upset when I got the phone call. For real, I was like, Jason, ain't no way. He's like, yeah, I did call. He just told me that. I was like, that might be a joke. Just go back to sleep. For real, because
Yeah.
I was like, no,
Yeah, it's
can't be
like
true.
that day. That day, when I ended up putting on Facebook, stick 'em up Ray and stick 'em up LJ. Y'all know y'all did your mama wrong,
I remember that
and
post.
everybody was like, "What is she talking about?" Like I
Right.
kept getting phone calls. I kept getting inboxes like, "What are you talking about? What's going on? What's going on?" My homeboy, he called me. He was like, "Shawana, what that post mean?" And I told him, right, and he was like, "Man, I showed my wife." And I was like, he was like, "What am I supposed to say to her? What am I
Right.
supposed to say to her?"
Right. It ain't no
And he was
words.
like, his wife looked at him and was like, "You on your own with that one because I can't help."
Yeah. What do you want people to say
Right.
to
What
you?
can
Like
somebody
what?
say
I
though?
mean, what do you say to
You
a
know,
person that lost their kid?
a lot of
Like,
people come to me and they be like, Shawanda, they was like, "I haven't called you or I haven't said anything to you because I don't know what to say.
yeah.
But just know I'm praying for you."
Mm,
They was like, because I can't say nothing to you that other people has already said to you that don't matter
right.
because you don't have your kids. Like I don't know what to say to you. I'm like, yeah. I said sometimes I don't know what to say to myself.
Right.
And
That's
they was
tough.
like, all I can do is continue to pray for you. I was like, yeah. And they was like, just take it day by day. I said, sometimes it be second by second.
Mm.
Because in 1 second I could be doing good, and that next second, bad at the world.
Mm, I can only imagine.
But look, let me ask this one thing, and I'm gonna ask no more questions. Because you said you work with DSS and you work with kids. Like, do that bring you joy though? Since you no, it don't. Not
Remember when the record died, I was working in Orangeburg
okay.
as a case manager. I was dealing with people who I done took the kids out of the home,
Mm.
and all they had to do was probably do a drug class for 6 to 8 weeks, 6, 8, 12 weeks, or they had to go to parenting classes, and they wouldn't do it. They would just let their child stay. And I'm looking at them like, oh, this stupid
Cause you, yeah.
Beyonce. Like, I wish I could go
do-
to a 12
Right.
weeks class and get my
Right.
child back. I wish I could go to a 12-week class and see my child again. I can't do that. But your
Right.
child is here in the flesh. But you rather do drugs than to get your child.
Some people just ain't parents.
You're right.
God bless
So
some people for, I don't know.
my supervisor at the time, she's like, Shamona, you can't stay here. I said, what you mean? I'm good. I'm content. She's like, no.
Mm.
She
She was
saw
like,
it.
you can't stay here because you're not going to be able to function like you need to function in this job. She's like, you need to go. I said, but I'm
Wow. But then
content.
it's
I'm good.
And you say you never grieve, so you ever try to like seek therapy?
I did.
okay. That's good.
It didn't last. It didn't last.
You didn't allow it to last.
Baby. But, well, I seek therapy with recording. After LJ, I did. I did. I tried. I did.
Did you like try? I know you pray and all of that, but like, and I know you probably question like, Lord, why me? Like, did that like turn you? Oh, or do you? So I guess what I'm asking, did it bring you closer to God, or do you feel like it pushed you further from? Or are you still trying to figure that part out?
Back in February 5th, 2020,
Okay,
when Raekwon went to jail, my faith kind of
was rocky.
was rocky then. Because I'm like, how they going to come and arrest him and they ain't got no evidence? Like, y'all have nothing. All this is a bunch of he say, she say, they're say. Like, but y'all came and y'all arrest my child. And he stayed in jail for almost a year with nothing. And then y'all have people come telling y'all things about what's going on in Raekwon's murder. But yet still,
Nobody
nobody else has been arrested. But y'all came and y'all arrested my son because of hearsay. But what about the hearsay about his murder?
Right, right. I would have been mad too about that because what?
Yeah, so that's my problem. So my faith was kind of rocky
Rocky,
from there. Then my son died. That pushed me further away from God. And then LG. And I'm like,
So you just sitting in limbo a little bit.
yeah, like
Okay.
go up after Raekwon died, I went to church. I cried through that whole church service.
Yeah.
Because
That's how
all
it
I'm
be.
doing is looking up there and seeing my baby cancer.
Yeah.
That
Like,
made me cry.
don't do that because I'm crying too.
Go
So
ahead.
I had to end up getting up leaving. And I couldn't go back to church. I really could not go back to church.
Wait, you left your son's funeral?
No, I left church service.
Okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
I
I
left the-
misunderstood you. My bad.
I left the church service.
Okay.
Because of the fact I couldn't stay there because all I saw was
Oh,
his black
I get what
casket
you're saying.
sitting up front.
Got you.
It
Okay.
has gotten better now.
That's cute.
When Raquan died, the next funeral that I attended was LJ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to no other funerals after Raquan died. My next funeral was my son.
You strong. I'ma just say that.
Yeah,
'Cause
people tell me that, but inside is empty. There's nothing. I tell people like, I ain't got nothing to live for. Like,
your
You
grandbaby.
do. You got your grandbaby.
true.
So you can't think that way, but I feel like God
But I
is
can
bringing you
understand what
through
you're
your
saying.
situation, but I can understand why you feel the way you feel.
Yeah.
But being the fact that you even strong enough to talk to us about it,
Exactly.
I feel like that's your therapy. To be real with you, I feel like when you talk about it, it helps you, grieve.
I
That's
mean,
why I think you
people
do.
say that. They was like, Shawanda, God kept you here. Because that night that LJ died, I was going to kill myself that night. Oh, yeah. My gun was in my armrest of my truck. I went to my truck to get my gun.
And
But my
what?
friend that was standing there, he was watching me the whole time. So he saw what I was about to do, and he knew where it was at. So he got to my truck, to the armrest.
Oh my God, I hate.
Oh my God! Thank God for your friend.
I'm for real. Like, ooh.
Yeah, he ended up getting the gun before I could get to it. I was going to eat that gun that night.
Oh my God.
And then I remember,
You make me forget all my answers, my questions.
and I remember my cousin, Ronaldo, come grabbing me from the back out my truck. And he
Don't
was
do
like,
that.
Don't do it, Shawanda. Don't do it, Shawanda. I was like, no, I got to. I said, everything I birth is going. Everything I birth is going. Then to the point, Ronaldo, I only had on the nightgown. So Ronaldo grabbed me. Everything was showing. I said, no, you
See, go ahead to bring y'all a little humor.
He was like,
right.
he was like, I don't give a damn. I said, well, no.
And he right.
Everything was showing, though. Like, put my nightgown
No,
on.
listen, he was saving your life.
Yeah.
No, listen, he was wearing
I
my
can
ass.
laugh at it now, but
Back then it was. Yeah.
but yeah, that night I wanted it.
Well, what about like a you know how they have the lady? You remember the Mad Moms Against Drunk Driving? You ever thought about something like that?
I thought about it. This girl that I work with now, she something we was talking about, and I was like, how many more parents got to put their child on a t-shirt? Mm-hmm. And she was like, that's your thing right there. She said, that's it. She was like, no more t-shirts.
Ooh,
I
that's
was
good.
like,
You should do it. I think
Trademark
you should
that.
do it. Seriously.
I'm procrastinating with a lot of stuff.
Well, that might
But
be
not
your
that.
call.
Don't procrastinate with that. That could change everything.
Yeah.
Help you, heal you. You know,
Yep, she
Give
said
you
that,
something to.
we were talking about, because she said how her mom lost her son. And she was like, that should be that. She said, Shawanda, that's your thing right there. No more t-shirts.
T-shirts.
You should do
I
that.
like that.
I like that
Shawanda.
too.
I think you can do it.
That should be inspiring.
I'm
by
just
all kind of
saying,
stuff.
you can
She
do
stuff like
it.
that. I think you
That
should.
would really give you some more purpose. You know what I mean? And then it would then turn into they're not lost in vain. You get what I'm saying? It can constantly be a reminder of like, even though your murders aren't solved yet, you didn't die for nothing. So you should really just think about it and just, you know,
I think you should.
I think it would be great.
Seriously, I'm gonna call you and ask you, do you did it?
Exactly. No more t-shirts.
Yeah, and it's
It's
very
catchy. Yeah, no
It's
more
very
t-shirts.
So I'll think about it.
Yeah, think
You
about
should.
it.
You
No
should do
more
it.
t-shirts.
But I know one thing though is like sometimes thinking about the different, it's like I don't want to be a DSS no more. Because of the things that we have to see or whatever. Like I left Orangeburg and I ended up in Newberry County.
That's far from you.
And like Newberry County, how I
That's very
ended up there, I still don't know that how I ended up there. Because all I remember was getting an email for an interview. I'm like, when did I apply for a position in Newberry? Because who wants to work in Newberry?
Right.
Like,
That's
what
all
is-
right.
Like, what is Newberry? Like,
It's
yeah,
far.
right?
We know that.
So I text something. I was like, oh, I declined. I declined. I was like, I want the job.
I ain't lying.
I want the job.
Yeah, that is kind of.
That's all.
So doing the time Raquan died, I saw the position came available. I was like, oh, they ain't find nobody for the job.
So you wouldn't get the job.
I still ain't good for the interview. No, nope. Mm-mm. So I think right when I went back to work for record, because I didn't let myself grieve for record. I think we barely record. I stayed off for a week and I was back at work,
Yeah.
which was
Bad. A
bad.
bad idea.
Yeah,
I don't know why you
Yeah.
shouldn't stop him.
I don't know why she didn't stop.
Right. Somebody should have said
Somebody
no.
Why?
Sit down.
Just why?
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up going back to work. There was many days I said at work and cry. Then I got back at work. I saw the position came available again. I said, you know what, Lord? I think you tried to tell
Give
me
me
something.
something.
I said, so if the position come back available, I'm gonna go ahead and tell them I'm gonna do the interview. It came available again, so I called the lady. I said, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and take the interview. I interviewed November 3rd. November 17th, they was offering me the job.
Wow.
That's
That was your job all along.
maybe a blessing in disguise. You never know.
Hey, you got the no more t-shirts out of it.
Yeah, I did. I did. get that.
Well,
I
there it
said,
is.
See? That's what he called you for.
Everything works in
And
its
then-
own
and
perfect
somebody was
timing.
like, you know, Shawanda, that's just where you're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's just where you're supposed to be
Yeah.
at.
That's a
I was
plus.
like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
You got it. I think you're pretty
You
strong. I
got
think
it.
you do pretty good. You know, like I know you personally. I think
Yeah.
y'all got
Because
it.
I think you used to think you was my sister too.
It did.
But you and
It
Erica,
was okay.
You and Erica used to get on my nerves.
Yes, it's
Not
all love
get on
though.
your
Yeah.
nerves.
Yeah, I love y'all, I guess.
I love you too. But I appreciate you for coming to even sit and talk to us. I know it was very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
was
definitely
like, let me go ahead and tell Vina I ain't going. I ain't coming, Vina. I ain't coming. I can't do
Oh Lord.
it. Back in March, Nisha Green, she tagged me on something on Facebook about a healing retreat. Right? Mm-hmm. So I told the girl I would go or whatever. It got to that Friday. I'm like, man, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying home. Like,
Oh,
I
and
ain't
you
going.
went.
I went. I did. I
Oh,
Did you
did.
enjoy it?
good.
I did. I did
Good.
enjoy myself. I did. I had enjoyed climbing that mountain.
Ah!
I did enjoy
Oh, so you did
myself.
like mountain climbing and all
No,
that?
they went to this, what is it? What a pretty place, a perfect place or
Oh,
something. And we went up there to see the sunrise or whatever. But you had to climb a mountain.
to do that.
I probably would have been not up the mountain, not climbing it.
It was so many people there that we couldn't go park in the parking lot. We had to
Oh.
walk down the mountain. I was like, oh God, Jesus. It's cold too. I didn't know we were going to do that. I've been cool.
You been by yourself?
No, I was with the group.
Oh, okay.
It was a group of us who they lost their kids as well. So it was like a group of us.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a yearly thing.
Oh, so you think you're gonna go back?
I don't know yet.
Go back with your no more t-shirts on
Right,
this
then you-
time.
then
And that's
they
how
gonna-
yes.
Come on,
That's
see?
where you started.
Don't sleep on your blessing now. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
And they're going to be behind you. Watch.
right,
Okay.
Watch
Yes.
it.
you got it. You can do it.
Yes, you can.
But y'all, I need everybody to like, follow, share, and subscribe. But I want to say this one thing: if anybody know anything to help Shawanda get some peace, just call somebody, contact, hit my inbox. I don't. But anyway, I need everybody to like, follow, share, and subscribe.